Hey guys, and welcome back to I Like Watches, and thank you so much for tuning in to watch the unboxing and first impressions video for this Pagani GMT. If you enjoy my content, please don't forget to click that like button and subscribe. I promise you it really helps. And maybe consider going over and checking out my sister channel, I Like Watches too. This is the unboxing and first impressions video for this watch, so I'm going to be going through the facts, figures, stats and specifications, and I'm also going to run through some of the things that I really like about this watch and some of the things that I think perhaps Pagani could have done better. I will revisit this watch in a few weeks to do a full and in-depth review, but hopefully by the end of this video you should have an idea of whether or not this watch is for you. And if it is, please don't forget there will be a link in the description below. It will be an affiliate link to the Pagani design store on AliExpress. The affiliate link won't cost you any more money, but it will simply tell AliExpress that you've bought this watch as a result of seeing one of my videos. They will pay me a little bit of commission, and that commission goes towards buying more watches to review for you guys. So if you use that link, thank you very much. It really is appreciated. Here we go then. I bought this watch from the Pagani design store on AliExpress. It is of course an homage of the Rolex GMT Master 2, and I went for this black and blue ceramic bezel option. I paid £78 for this watch. That's $95 or 88 euros. All Pagani design watches come with a 1-year warranty, and this watch at the moment has 4 options. If you use the affiliate link in the description below, it will take you to the exact watch that I bought, but there you'll be able to have a look at all the different bezel options. It's a 21,600 beats per hour movement. It hacks, it hand winds, and mine's currently running at -1 second a day. The case, crown, bezel, bracelet and clasp are all 316L stainless steel. The case diameter is 40mm. The thickness is 13mm. Lug width 20mm. Case length is 47mm, but you do have fixed center links on those end links, and that makes the overall case length 52mm. On the supplied bracelet, this watch will fit wrists with a circumference of 8.85 inches down to 6.4 inches. I've got a 7.5 inch wrist, and this watch weighs in at 143 grams when set up for my wrist. With all the links it comes in at 155 grams. To get it to fit my wrist I had to remove 4 links. Unlike Parnis, Pagani design do put the water resistance on their watches, and this one's rated at 100 meters. The case has a mix of brushed and polished finishing. You've got that crown at the 3 o'clock position. It is a screw down crown and it's also signed. You also have a screw down and signed display case back. The bezel on this watch is unidirectional. I suspect they've taken that from their dive watch, but it does have that GMT ceramic insert. It's a 60 click unidirectional bezel, and you of course have the GMT numerals on that bezel. I have tested both the crystal on the face of the dial and the Cyclops, and they are both sapphire crystal. The magnification as well on my watch is excellent. It's 2.5 times magnification. At the moment you can only choose this watch with a black dial. There's no sunburst effect or any patterns on this dial. It's a flat black dial. Dial size is the standard 28.5mm. You've got the date window at that 3 o'clock. There is no surround, but you of course do have that Cyclops. You've got the minute track printed around the outside of the dial. You've also got those applied indices and the Pagani design logo and name under the 12 o'clock. You've also got the word Explorer on the dial. Above the 6 you've got automatic, water resistant, 10 bar, 100 meters. This watch comes with your classic Mercedes style high polished stainless steel hands. The indices and the hands have lume. Sadly there's no lume on this bezel. The bracelet that comes with this watch is a 3-link bracelet. Again, 316L stainless steel, 20mm lug width, tapers down to 16mm at the clasp, back up to 18mm for the clasp. The bracelet is a mix of brushed and polished finishing. The outer links are brushed, the center links are a high polish, and you've also got a high polished surface on the outside of those outer links. It comes with solid links, solid end links, and there's no push pins here, they're all screw pins. The clasp is your typical Pagani design 3-piece fold over clasp, fully milled. You've got micro adjusts, you've got diver's extension, you've also got that safety latch. It's beautifully finished, and of course it's finished with that Pagani design engraved down the center. That then is the vast majority of the facts, figures, stats and specifications. I really don't think I've left too much out, but if I have, put a note in the comments section. I will definitely come back to you and answer your questions, because I know how anticipated this watch has been. I know people have been desperate to see it on camera, hear about the facts and figures, and when this video goes live, I will certainly be around to answer your questions. Time now then to take a look at the things that I really like about this watch, and I'm also going to have a look at the things that I think Pagani design could have done better. First thing on my like list then is always with Pagani design, the huge list of specifications that you get with their watches. It's incredible. They are probably the best manufacturer in terms of specifications and price per spec on AliExpress. I have a spreadsheet that I fill in and it has all the specifications for all the watches, and there are far more ticks next to Pagani design watches than there are for any other brand. Something else that's impressed me with this watch is the quality of the brushing and the finishing in general. The brushing is actually very, very nicely done. It's a beautiful satin finish. It's consistent throughout the whole watch. The bracelet, the clasp, the end links, the actual lugs on the watch. It's all longitudinal brushing. It's a beautiful, fine satin brushing. I am impressed. Something else that's impressed me actually is the buttery smoothness of this crown action. It feels incredible. It's probably one of the best crown actions I've felt. The Glycine Combat Sub that I looked at a little while ago had a beautiful crown action as well, and this is up there. It feels fantastic. And the last thing I'm going to mention in terms of my like list today is the sound of those clicks on that bezel. They are beautifully crisp actually. Really, really nice. Let's now take a look at the things that I think Pagani design could do better with this watch. And the first one is that bezel action. It's just a little bit too light for me. And there are a couple of high spots where the resistance just changes ever so slightly and it gets fractionally more resistance as you turn it. It's very minor, but it is noticeable. But I also just do like my bezel actions to have a little bit more resistance. Something else that I noticed fairly quickly as well is there's a couple of things on this dial that really I think shouldn't be there. You've got that word Explorer written under Pagani design under the 12 o'clock, and also Japan movement either side of that 6 o'clock marker, which basically tells me this is the exact dial that they use for that new Pagani designed 40mm diver that they launched recently. I really do think they should be removing the Japan movement script if there isn't a Japanese movement in this watch. The rotor isn't the prettiest either. They've added a decorative plate to that and really it's not the most attractive. And also those screw pins on that bracelet were really quite loose. They seem to undo rather easily, so you may want to consider some thread lock on this watch if you're going to consider picking one up. But all these negatives are really, really quite minor, I have to say. The things that I like about this watch far, far outweigh the negatives for sure. There will, of course, be comparisons between this watch and the Parnis GMT. It's inevitable. And I have to say, I think this one's got the edge, and it has the edge because of that clasp. I think there are so many people put off by Parnis watches because of the clasps that they put on their bracelets that, well, there isn't that issue with this one. So I suspect those that won't pick up the Parnis GMT will pick up this watch. And there really isn't much about this watch that should discourage you from buying it. So do I recommend this watch? Wholeheartedly I do. I think it's great value for money. Like all Pagani design watches, it's incredible value for money. And of course, if you are thinking of picking this one up, don't forget there is that affiliate link in the description below, and I would love it if you use that link. It really, really does help the channel out.